Welcome to BoardCheck. I'm Jeremy the Impact York, bringing you all the news, notes, scores, and fun things from around the NHL League, the ECHL, and of course, your Atlanta Gladiators, my Atlanta Gladiators, and the Boston Bruins. Now, we're going to start off with some Gladiator news. Got some fun stuff for the second period with some NHL topics, and obviously finishing up Bruins means we're going to finish strong. It's the only way to finish. But to start off, I want to tell you that I'm actually going to show you guys something pretty cool. It won't be in the first period. We'll have to show it to you in one of the later periods, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Anyway, last Tuesday, the Atlanta Gladiators were in Greenville to take on the Swamp Rabbits. Still one of the coolest jerseys. That's not a Gladiator jersey. Gladiators have the best jerseys, but Swamp Rabbits are pretty good. Anyway, they lost to the Swamp Rabbits 6-3, where Mingoya and Justin Buzzio each scored. Mingoya ended up having 2. Now, Saturday, they were at home against the Cincinnati Cyclones, where they won 6-2, where Buzzio, Bolton, Higgs, Atkinson, and Niclario all scored. Niclario ended up netting 2. He's one of the newer guys around and doing quite well. Again, had 32 saves in that one in the win. Of course, Monday they took on the Norfolk Admirals, obviously in the Infinite Energy Center. They lost that one 3-1. Ginn had 20 saves in the loss, and Atkinson had the lone goal. Now, the upcoming schedule. This Friday, they will be in Greenville again against the Swamp Rabbits. That is a 7 p.m. start. And they will be at home Saturday night versus the South Carolina Stingrays. That is a 7:05 Eastern Standard Time start. Now, also tonight is the ECHL All-Star Classic from the Glen Falls Civic Center. That should be a lot of fun. The Gladiators representative, of course, is Justin Buzzio, and we wish him the best and hope he really represents the way I believe he will. And then lastly, I got to tell you this really kind of funny story. So, funny story. You guys know how ever since I went to the game a couple of weeks ago and told you to become a Rawlyk fan. Talked about him a couple different weeks. Last week I said, it'd be nice to have a Rawlyk on the team. Well, seems that the Gladiators are definitely paying attention and listening and apparently following advice that I have, because they traded for Rawlyk, who is now an Atlanta Gladiator. I've already given him a shout out. Maybe we'll look at getting him on the show at some point. That could be a lot of fun. Now, the other crazy thing is I was just thinking we might need some other defensive help. And they, I believe they, can we try to get that pulled up somewhere? Let's see here. There we go. The Atlanta Gladiators have acquired Nick Trecapelli in exchange for Jacob Bolton. I hate to see Mr. Bolton go. Having a Bolton on the Atlanta hockey team is always a good thing, but wish him the best, and welcome in the new guy here. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk some NHL news right here on BoardCheck. And we're back here on BoardCheck for period number 2. Welcome back, Jeremy the Impact York. You guys know that. I'm going to talk some NHL issues, and then I'll show you this really cool thing I was able to I got from a buddy of mine. I think you guys are going to enjoy it, especially if you enjoyed the first segment. The Penguins and Capitals, I saw that game the other night. We were watching it right here at the Impact Media Studio, and I think, pound for pound, it's one of the best rivalries in sports. It's by far the biggest rivalry in the NHL. You got Crosby and Malkin. You got Holtby. You got Ovechkin. Both these teams, fantastic, super deep in talent. Ovechkin getting past 1,000 points the other day. He's got like 700 something goals, I think, or something like that. Crosby, like I said, I can't say a whole lot because he hasn't whined a whole lot this year. He was actually injured. Glad he's back because he is one of the better players. And, he's already leading in goals and leading all the point totals and such. But this rivalry is just fantastic. They're always back and forth. There's always the physicalities there. It reminds me of some of the throwbacks to the older ones that involved the Bruins and the Maple Leafs and the Rangers, just all those throwbacks, especially the original six, but early on when they would just go at it. So for my money, the Pens and the Caps are the biggest rivalry right now. I hope you guys enjoyed that game Monday night. If you didn't get a chance to see it, try to go back and see it because it was fantastic. Unless you're a fan of goaltenders, and then maybe not so much because there was like 15 goals scored or something like that, including the overtime winner. Be prepared, though, if you don't know how that ended. Kind of got a crap ending. It was a missed call on something, but it is what it is. Congratulations to the winning team, the Penguins, on that one. And hey, just know that if you come into Boston, you better bring it. I don't care how good you are. I really do see that if, when Boston makes the playoffs, I feel like we're going to get the Capitals up first. So we'll just have to make the most of that, and I think we can actually match up well. But moving on, Brad Marchand was the second star for the NHL this week. So congratulations to him. He has really been on a hot streak, been trying to help keep up the Bruins season since Pasternak got injured a little bit, and hopefully get him back as soon as we can. But congratulations, Brad Marchand, on being the second star of the week. Let's see. The New York Islanders fired head coach Jack Capuano. Hope I'm saying that right. And actually, longtime NHLer, I remember this guy. Doug Waite is the interim head coach currently. The Islanders are kind of in that weird place where, they don't want to go down any further. There's not much further down to go for them. But they're trying to get it back up. They try to do a spark. It's hard to fire 20 people when you can maybe flip one and see what happens. Maybe Doug Waite takes over permanently. Who knows? But, good luck to the Islanders, except when you're playing Boston, of course. Hopefully they can right the ship on that. And then the last thing I really wanted to get into, Chris Kreider. While I don't condone what he did, it was a little funny and actually made it interesting. He was in a fight and with a Stars player. I forgot which Stars player it was. And at one point, he reached over the top of the guy's head, pulled the guy's helmet off, and hit himself. Hit the other guy in the head with his own helmet. Yeah, you can injure people, so that's the part I really don't condone. But creativity, I thought was pretty funny, and it was interesting. It was creative, and the guy didn't really get hurt off of that. The fight ended quite shortly after that. But the NHL handed down the fine for $5,000 to Mr. Kreider on that one. So, kids, if you're going to fight on the ice, fight. Don't use objects. That's obviously wrong. But, creative points to you, Chris Kreider, on that one. Just don't do it against a Boston Bruin because it's not going to go well. And I'll talk a little more about the Bruins fighting here just in a few short minutes on the other side of the intermission. So, join us for the third period. We're going to talk some Boston Bruins. We're going to talk some fighting, some other stuff. Oh, before we get out of here, a very good buddy of mine, Jake, who was at the game with me the other night. I know a lot of you guys got to meet him. He was able to pick up this little bad boy while he was at the Gladiators game. So, Jake, I definitely appreciate that. I know you're listening from an undisclosed room full of books and movies and DVDs. I believe I paid that fine. We should probably check on that. But shout out to you. I know we're going to go to a bunch more games. Lots more fun stuff. And here soon we're going to have you on the show because he can talk hockey just like I can. And it's a lot of fun debating different stuff. So shout out to you again, Jake, on that one. Appreciate it. And on the other side of the intermission, we're going to talk some Boston Bruins. We're going to talk some fighting and some other fun mischief right here on BoardCheck. And welcome back into period number 3 right here on BoardCheck. Jeremy the Impact York. Thanks for coming back. Now, I want to tell you guys about the Boston Bruins. Obviously, it's that part of the show right here in period number 3. Recapping last week's games. Of course, Thursday they were in Nashville against the Predators where they lost a close battle 2-1. Krug had the lone goal in that one. McIntyre had 14 saves. Rask had 3. Yes, it was a little split. Saturday, they were at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. Always a good day when you can beat the Flyers, so Saturday was definitely a good day. In that, we won 6-3, where Chara, the Charizard netted one. Bergeron, Krejci, Krug, and Marchand added a double just to round it out. Rask had 21 saves in the victory. He had 12 saves in the 4-0 shutout loss, and McIntyre had 11 to the New York Islanders on Monday. Their upcoming schedule. Wednesday, they are in Detroit versus the Red Wings. That is a 8 p.m. puck drop. The puck drops on Friday at home versus the Chicago Blackhawks. That's 7 p.m. on that one. This Sunday, they will be in Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. 3 p.m. puck drop on that one. And the puck drops at 7 p.m. Next Tuesday, this time next week. Next Tuesday versus Detroit at home. Kind of fun we get a home and home with the Detroit Red Wings. I think they're saying that they're not currently sellers, but the way they're playing like they're in one. So maybe we can pick up a couple victories there. I do think there's a chance we can go at least 2-2, if not 3-1 in these week's games. So, definitely have to figure that one out. I said it's possible. The things going on with Boston, Tuukka Rask took that shot a couple games ago. It's kind of scary because he went down and we thought maybe he could be out for a little while. Turns out he's going to be okay. McIntyre has been surprisingly good. A lot of people weren't sure. You never know when you call him up. I mean, look at Malcolm Subban. That experiment just didn't work. Maybe we can figure that one out. We're still going to need some defensive help. It seems like we have the scores. We have people that can put it in the net. That's what a scorer is. Just for some reason, we're not able to stop it. Stop enough of the rushes on defense. So, we're going to have to do something. Chara can still keep up with a lot of people. You have some of the other younger kids that are doing pretty good, but I think it's going to cost us a Spooner or somebody like that. We're going to need some defensive help because Rask doesn't need to face all these, or McIntyre or whoever we have in net does just not need to face these type of rushes like he is and all these chances, because it'll say something like, well, he only faced 20 shots. Well, there was probably 5 or 6 that didn't qualify as shots on goal, maybe more than that. So definitely got to figure that one out. And shout out to the big enforcer from Boston. You guys all know who I'm talking about, who every time he gets challenged, he seems to pretty much knock out his competition, and he was able to drop him this time. It was a pretty good fight, really. There's been some pretty good fights. We were spending a lot of the downtime here at the studio watching a lot of goalie fights and such. It is a part of the game. You can't really take it out of hockey. It happens maybe once or twice a game. Usually it's to take up for a fallen teammate. Bettman's done a lot of stuff, but he's never tried to take the fighting out of hockey. So got to commend him for that effort. But that's going to do it for me this week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week, we're going to have some fun stuff planned, and hopefully we'll be able to make it a few more games. We're thinking taking some trips maybe towards the end of the season. So we will definitely let you guys know on that so that you guys will know where we're going to be, and if we're somewhere close to you, we'd love to meet you at these games especially. But I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Thanks for tuning in to BoardCheck. We'll see you guys next week. Go Bruins. Go Gladiators.
Let's do